UConn. Here we go, game number 2. And the UConn Huskies have it first. They score nearly 90 points per game. KK Arnold, a tremendous defensive presence as well. They'll play through Sarah Williams, the transfer from Wisconsin, and Ashlyn Shade with a miss to open for Connecticut.
But a solid look. Ashlyn Shade has been shooting the ball really better. You know the critical nature that she plays on this team.
Into the post for Stolke. She's got to be big today. They'll refeed the post right back in there. Kick it out for a corner jumper. Ava Hayden, who has made quite the jump in year number 2 for Iowa. That's a trailer jump shot for Strong, and that won't fall.
Shots aren't falling, but already you're seeing the length and the pace that UConn wants to play at. Iowa can run as well, but the Huskies are moving.
And there's the help side defense from Williams. The two bigs converging on the interior pass to Stolke.
And that's where it becomes tough, but the quickness in your decision making and ball movement, you do have to have great awareness of how much length they have at every position.
So how do you deal with that? Kickball, by the way.
A lot of it comes from timing, but also just being really sharp. We talk about pace so much, and often you think about full court and push in and transition. There is pace in the half court. There's pace in how you cut the ball. There is specificity of how you're setting screens, creating angles.
McCabe into the post, got it for Hayden, and strong defense from Williams.
Very strong defense, and but for Hayden, like what type of position, doing your work before the catch, and a lot of that has to happen.
We have a shot clock issue. It was down to 13. That would have been the world's fastest possession for UConn. They'll reset it to 23. And we're scoreless through a minute 9 so far. Meeting number 11, UConn and Iowa, two storied programs in college basketball. Williams crowded out by Stolke. She'll turn anyway, and what an engine on Sarah Williams.
Well, Sarah Williams, Sarah Strong, the ability to pass, the vision she sees, and Sarah Williams spending the last 3 years with Wisconsin, the go-to player. She's getting so much more comfortable in this UConn system and how she can play to her strengths.
Downstairs, they'll get a foul. Stolke going to the free throw line with good energy to get the first 2 foul shots.
Sarah Strong can do it all, averaging about 5 assists per game. And Sarah Williams, as I had mentioned, she was a 2-time All-Big Ten player, and this is where she really excels. You get her in single coverage, isolation underneath the basket. That is not easy to defend, and Hannah Stolke and her are going to be a great matchup within the matchup to have your eyes on.
Foul was on Shade, her first. You know, we were talking to Jan Jensen yesterday about doubling the post, and there is some of that in the game plan, but she's dealt with Sarah Williams before, and she's such a good passer that there's a little bit of like, if we do that, do we hurt ourselves on the outside?
But even like there's little things, absolutely, but like Hayden, the block out that she just had on Williams there and doing a good job, the gang rebounding aspect, those are the type of thing. That possession was one that's what you need to do every time up the court against UConn.
Feuerbach just blew a tire and then dropped the ball. I don't know that Kylie Feuerbach feels great. She's limping toward the sideline.
She's definitely laboring, walking off.
So Taylor Stremlow, the sophomore from Wisconsin, is going to come in.
Oh, yeah, she just slipped there.
On the logo.
And over there talking to Jan Jensen, you know how much they need her presence. Also that leadership role, her being a graduate and in this system.
Made 21 threes for him last year. That pull-up for AZ Fudd is smooth.
Smooth, it's automatic. AZ Fudd has been shooting the lights out. That's what she does. 50% from the field, 53 from 3. I mean, it's amazing to watch and how she creates that space for herself.
High-low pass, and Hayden finishes.
Beautiful job. And again, Hayden, she's gotten good position on Williams the last couple times up the floor.
Out of the state of Oregon, coming to Iowa in year number 2. That pull-up rattles out for Williams. UConn getting good looks, not knocking them down so far. Stolke going to work. And taken away. There's the length for Connecticut. AZ Fudd to the rim. She's got 4.
Length, quickness, and The smarts. I mean, that's the type of thing defensively for UConn. It is not just about the personnel or the athleticism. It's their understanding of connectivity of where everyone needs and is going to be.
A gutting 374 days without basketball for AZ Fudd. There's the length again. Trying to collapse on Iowa. Stremlow got it to McCabe. Widen in the post. That's a kick. Sarah Strong just instinctively put out the foot. But it is tough to see passing lanes for Iowa right now.
Well, look at and just Fudd shooting the gap on the weak side and go. And those are, Iowa's played a really strong, solid schedule. But those are the things that sometimes take an opponent a second to realize just at every single spot how good UConn is in shooting those gaps.
Stremlow the miss, by the way. Blanca Quinones just came in, a defensive stopper with a lot of length, the freshman from Ecuador by way of Italy. Into the post, Strong just missed.
That's some solid defense there once again by Widen, doing a good job using her frame and her size.
Right back into the post. It's out of bounds off Connecticut, but very clearly for Jan Jensen. You have to have a post touch every possession. It seems like the signal here.
Well, because the way UConn operates defensively, even if you're going to work it to a kick-out three, you got to shift and rotate the defense in some capacity and find ways to have a little bit of an edge. And really, overall, there's been a good balance.
3 turnovers have hurt for Iowa so far. UConn leading by 3 in the early going of game number 2 here in Brooklyn. Strong knocks it down, her 15th 3 of the year. And we asked Gino Auriemma, what's the ceiling? He said, unlimited.
I mean, you saw it last year as a freshman. She is as poised and composed as they come to go along with all the skills in every area. She checks off every box.
Tough entry, out of bounds, turnover number 4 for Iowa.
Just a sophomore, she could work on the inside, excellent vision and passing, but the three-point shot, I mean, that is where it's just smooth as it comes. She's shooting 38% from beyond the arc. He's just a tough cover to go along with the compliments of this roster.
Quinones off the bracket, rebound on the ground, everybody's after it, and guzzled up by Quinones. Strong the reload for 3, no dice. Near travel, Widen works her way out of it and lobs it ahead for McCabe. Could have been a walk. Instead, we play on. Denied by Strong. Sarah Strong with the hands to free it up for Arnold. And the follow for Shade. Timeout, Iowa. We talked about live ball turnovers in game 1. You just can't against Connecticut. 3 straight turnovers for the Hawkeyes.
They are tough in the half court, but in the full court, they are so tough to stop. And at every single point, they're going to keep coming at you. A lot for the Hawkeyes to handle here early. No question that, of course, Coach Auriemma wants more from his players and looks at certain things, but I think that's the one thing to note this year that feels a little bit different than past seasons, that we have seen, they are not going to, they're full, they're healthy, they're deep, they can play in so many different ways.
Rebound down to the ground off the right miss, and it's going to go UConn's way.
But that's all a part of the growing process that we've seen such a tremendous job. Like, everyone that is stepping into larger roles has had the opportunity to learn from those who have been tremendous leaders and veterans. And you look at a player like KK Arnold, the importance that she will have, and to, yes, it's different in what is being asked of her in the organization and not just a part of the energy, but to have watched Paige Beckers, to have watched Caitlin Chen, to have seen that, and it maybe an adjustment period to figure out then what that looks like for her, but my goodness.
Well, but she's been in those spots, right? She was 3 for 3 from the floor in the title game last year. You know, you pick your spots as Stokey gets down low against Quinones.
That's a good job getting underneath the defense. I said this earlier, Iowa's doing a nice job at the positioning they're getting around the basket. That time, it was a good job just having an open area.
Sarah Strong is too much.
She is so forceful in how she can get herself to the basket and finish through contact.
She's been under 14 points 1 time this year. That was 11. Every other game, 14 at least. Arnold doing a nice job on Wright. The kick out. That three for Wright is there.
Chit Chat Wright, only a sophomore. She's such a key component to this team, shooting 50% from three. And when she gets going in, that's a big part of it. Her just continuing to be just as aggressive looking for her shots as she is being a pass-first point guard.
There's the answer for KK Arnold from shade. I mean, UConn, we mentioned, they shoot 51% from the floor. Looking back at the top shooting percentages in Gino Auriemma's tenure, the top 10 in program history are 51% plus. Offensive efficiency has been a hallmark of this program. Arnold drops it off. What a rim run for Strong.
That's nasty. I mean, you want to, but those are the quickness of the reads. To me, like, separation of some of the elite is the decision-making. The decision-making with the ball in your hands and what that looks like. Ball in your hands, off the basketball, where you're seeing from the defense.
Widen has to turn away, and it knocked out of her hands by Strong, who's right there with her, just stuck to her defensively. Step back, Stremlow, no dice, and it's over the backboard. Iowa's got to work really hard on the offensive end right now.
Work really, because it's not only about figuring out the shots you're getting. It's just, I mean, you have 5 Iowa players all around the three-point line, and the quick slip by Sarah Strong. Whew, you cannot allow for that, but what a beautiful feed by KK Arnold. UConn also has the ability to make you feel like you're open, and they are so quick in covering ground with that type of length.
Strong sizing up Stolke. Wants the ISO. She collects the ball and scores again off 22 points in 24 minutes on Wednesday. It's an early 9. Addie Deal, the freshman, is checked into the ball game. That back cut, that's the length. You think there's a pass there. UConn takes it away. Williams pivoting. Riding into the lane, Williams, top shot to score.
Sarah Williams is so tough. It's not just about the size, it's the footwork, the touch she has. And you even saw that how strong she could be with her pivot foot in holding her position.
She grew up in Brooklyn, moved to Toronto in 2018, but has some family and friends here, we're told today. Chit Chat Wright had to have it. That is a second chance for Layla Hayes, the Alaska native, who will go to the free throw line. Top 70 prospect out of high school. Her mom's best friend was a Hawkeye player back in the 90s and 2000s.
And she's had some big games. I mean, only a freshman, but against Evansville, second game of the season, she had 20 points. She had a 14-point, 10-rebound double-double in that third game against Drake. And this may be a situation for Jan Jensen and this group of, at some point, do you start to try some maybe different combinations, what things look like, how you can, and I know you asked me earlier, it's not an easy question to answer. No one has been able to solve it yet, but what do you try and do to at least make UConn seem or feel a little bit uncomfortable? Because no matter the circumstance, no matter the lineups, that's where it becomes so challenging.
Yeah, game pressure is not something they feel a whole lot. As Kaylee Heckel has checked in, the USC transfer who's from Long Island. Strong, who just picked up her first foul, will whip it for Heckel. Williams wants the high-low. Strong working very hard. She vacates, and Heckel threw it away. Chit Chat Wright for 2. 10-point game.
She's the real deal. In a response like that, so you get a stop, you do a good job of forcing a tough possession, and you're able to convert on that. It's a lot of those things you need to string together.
Strong, what a cut to AZ Fudd, and it's Iowa ending up with the ball. Strong to Fudd. What use of space to get that look. However, Iowa holds the line. It's a 10-point game at the end of one quarter. Hawkeyes playing without their grad student guard, who played 38 games off the bench as a junior. Now her grad student year. Layla Hayes in the post got caught out for Deal, her classmate. Trying to tuck it into the post. They do. Journey Houston on the kick, and a foul called on the closeout. Hayes will go to the free throw line. Sarah Williams can't believe it.
And those are the type of things, though, if you're UConn. I mean, Sarah Williams is a big-time blocking player, and that's a part of what they do defensively, is continuing to contest you in those ways. But these are the things of not giving Iowa any easy opportunities or any chances at the rim in how locked down you are on the defensive end. So whether it's free throws, and for the Hawkeyes, that's exactly what you need to try and do. How can you create contact? How can you find ways to get yourself to the free throw line? Or if there is some easier baskets, great to see. Kylie Fierbach back on the floor.
I mean, she's a big-time scorer in high school, first-team All-State player out of the state of Illinois, and she's had a very nice career with the Hawkeyes. So 9-point game. Strong up top on the drive. Window so sleek.
Gets to her spots.
And she knows the angle so well. I mean, that's hours upon hours of taking that shot. Echo on right. Trying to slide it into the post. That shot short for Hayes. Trying to collect the rebound. She does. Fierbach the miss. And it's smacked out of bounds by UConn. Journey Houston, a battle to keep possession for Iowa. 2 to shoot will be 20 now.
Great rotation, a little shot fake. Sarah Strong at 6'2", stop, pop, off the window.
Just easy. She makes the very difficult look very easy.
That's a part of it. In a big part, her pedigree. She grew up with it and around the game. Her mom, of course, is Alliston Feaster, who played at Harvard in the WNBA overseas. She's now in the Boston Celtics front office. Her dad played professionally, but there is just an understanding and an instinctual way in which how she reads and thinks the game, and then has the skills to back it up.
There's one of those reads. She forced Stolke to end up on the ground. She spikes it down for Fierbach with 5 to shoot. Fierbach got to go against Shea. Drop it off for Hayes, who leaked out very nicely to pick up 2.
Excellent slip. That's a beautiful delivery by Fierbach. I'm really impressed with how well Hayes has played early on. Not just the buckets, but a lot of the little things. She's positionally in great spots.
Catch and shoot for Fudd won't go. 1 and done for UConn. Jan Jensen was talking about how many options Gino Auriemma has because of his personnel. I mean, off a miss, you see some heat in the backcourt. Stolke, little help, got it to Fierbach. That won't fall. Shade into the corner. It is out of bounds off of Connecticut. 2 Huskies over there. And Iowa will have it.
We're talking about it. Kylie Fierbach doing it. I mean, that's a beautiful delivery on the inside around Shade. Nice job, and that's another play by Hayes of the read as she's slipping to stop early.
Talk about doing your work early. Hayden was real deep with a seal down there. Couldn't make the shot. Off the feed from right, McCabe sinks a 3, and Iowa's within 6. Taylor McCabe, 43% from 3 for the year.
That's what she does, and this is her 4th year at Iowa. She is used to these lights in this type of competition.
Williams in the post, banging on Hayden, slipped and tripped and fouled.
Yeah, Sarah Williams has got so many counter moves when she gets it around and underneath the basket. And I'd mentioned that she spent her first 3 years at Wisconsin. She was the go-to option in just what she was able to do in terms of her usage. She averaged nearly 20 points per game, nearly 10 rebounds per game. And so kind of figuring out, I think, just how she's best utilized, what her spots are, but you see it in her footwork and her reads and feel of a defender behind her.
That, by the way, Sarah, was the first foul of the game against Iowa. of the game in more than 12 minutes of action. Stolke down low, had it back tapped away. Strong the defense. Ashlyn Shade flaring, got it to the corner. Reload her through Williams, and UConn will settle in for a moment. There goes Strong again. Oh, what a first step.
That started, though, even before she caught the basketball. Looking like she was going to back cut, and then coming back up top. I mean, there was so much movement that takes place that Stolke is trying to read and stay with her.
Creates the 6th UConn layup of the game. No back cut available. Stolke turn and fire high off the window.
That's a tough bucket by Stolke. She's coming off a game where she had 31.
KK Arnold too much, and we get a foul against Iowa on the rebounding action. It's against Ava Hayden. That's her second.
And Sarah Strong, look at that, just a couple little cuts there to then receive the ball. And as soon as she feels Stolke jump out on her, then she's got to step on her with that clean look to the basket. But on the other end, these two going at one another. High off to the window for Stolke.
Into the corner for Strong, and UConn pays off a second chance off the Iowa foul. That was the second on Hayden, by the way. She has to come out of the game, so the freshman Layla Hayes is going to have to do some work down there. They'll feed her against Strong. Hayes caught in the lane. She'll come out to screen for Feuerbach, ducking through. Stolke right into Quinones, and that's an Ecuadorian wall that ends up down the floor for 2 and a foul.
KK Arnold, baby. She's second in the country in assist-to-turnover ratio, but her reads, her quickness, it starts with a defensive stop, and watch how quickly she gets the ball up the floor. UConn on the run. And that's where they are, just a train. They're going to be coming at you from the lanes with bodies. It's so hard to stop, and especially with those turnovers. That's why taking care of the ball and your shot selection is at such a premium.
It's a three-point play that you end up with, and then nearly a turnover there. Hayes is bottled up and has to get rid of it for Stremlo. McCabe wants it back. Close out from Strong, and some help side defense from Quinones. We got to travel against Hayes.
And that's an excellent collapse. AZ Fudd holding her ground, staying in front, giving enough time for Quinones to come down and force the shuffle.
You know, it's interesting. You want to be calm on a post catch, but is there time for that with UConn collapsing so quickly?
Really, in every catch and possession, that's kind of the thing that you have to decide.
AZ Fudd the miss. Rebound for Iowa. Journey Houston, the freshman, into Quinones, and it's out of bounds. Sarah Kustok was bracing herself for the arrival of at least one player.
I was going to protect you,
no,
and then I was going to get by.
Be honest, you were doing a Rubik's Cube when it happened. It's a Nets joke.
I only need 53 seconds.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Noah. 13-point game. Stremlo has Arnold right with her. Forced a tough pass. Quinones again gets foul. Oh, it's an offensive foul. Offensive foul against Quinones, creating the contact. She is a bulldozer to the rim.
She's got strength, she's got length, and a whole lot of energy. Chat right about not being able to guard her.
Oh boy. Right off the inbound, Sarah Strong gets her mitt on a basketball.
And already for UConn, 18 points off turnovers.
And a foul against Quinones.
Well, it twofold. And back to that huddle, it was good. They have been crashing the boards. But you look right here, I mean, that's just the hands of Strong in all along. And this is where UConn becomes, on top of a lot of things, so challenging, because they can pick you up in full court pressure. They can show different looks, whatever their coverages are, to keep you off balance.
To the sideline it goes. Quinones cleans it up. On the kick, got it to the corner. Strong won't finish, and here comes Iowa. Stremlo thought about a three. Wright's going to take it. It's good.
And circling back to Jan Jensen talking about chit-chat, right? She is such a pass-first point guard, how she wants to play and who she looks to facilitate for. She's got to continue to be aggressive looking for her own, because she is such a threat when she does look to score.
She has 8 of the 23 so far. They get it down low and a whistle. Allie Zabel will go to the free throw line, who's cracked the rotation here for Gino Auriemma at about 15 minutes per game after some time off the bench as a freshman last year. Foul on Hayes is her first. So 2 on Hayden, 1 on Hayes. The posts have the fouls mounting for Iowa. Free throw sits down for Zabel. UConn 74% from the foul line as a group.
But also to put in perspective, even a player like Jana El Alfi, who checked in the game, and she started 27 games last season for UConn, and then more of a reduced role here with Sarah Williams coming over. But so you have players that are coming off the bench with that type of depth and that type of experience.
Risky pass for AZ Fudd, couldn't thread it through for Zabel, and a turnover for UConn, just the 3rd compared to 12 for Iowa so far. Stremlo needed it and got it.
Big time shot from Taylor Stremlo, shooting 39% from 3. She started in those 3 games for Wright when she missed.
She was a double-double waiting to happen in high school, as that won't fall for Zabel. McCabe, little sidestep, got free for half a second. It was tantalizing. Stremlo helped from behind from Strong, got a piece of it and denied her. Sarah Strong starts the move and scores. Different pace off the dribble, then she explodes.
It's the change of speed, it's the change of direction, and it's also even when she's coming at you on the break. I mean, she's sizing up a player like Journey Houston, and when it's only her in front of her, she knows she's able to create an angle to finish.
Stremlo reins in another one. 2 quick threes for the sophomore from the state of Wisconsin. Fudd pull up, got to her spot and missed.
And with everything we're saying, points off turnovers, how they're shooting, finding shots, this Iowa team within 10 here. So these final 2 minutes, what type of momentum can you bring into the halftime locker room?
The +8 on the glass, that's why. And Jan Jensen mentioned that in the huddle moments ago.
Manufacturing some extra possessions.
Chit-chat Wright breaking down on the dribble, driving Zabel. There's the length again. Sarah Strong got her hands on it. To the corner. It's Arnold on the drive, and she's drilled by Hayes. That's 2 on Layla Hayes. 2 bigs with 2 fouls for Iowa.
Talked a lot about Sarah Strong on the offensive side. She does it on the defensive side too, coming from behind, does a great job on the tip, and now she's on the run. She's surveying, she's looking, she's pushing, and yeah, Houston, you got to get down because she can come through and finish at the cup, but Iowa has responded well, and so has Taylor Stremlo with how she stroked a couple 3-point shots.
That second foul on Hayes leads to a free throw for Arnold. So Hayden with 2 fouls, Hayes with 2 fouls, as we mentioned. Hannah Stolke was lively early. She's back in the game as the free throw is good. See if Iowa tries to get it into the post for her on this possession. Chit-chat Wright, who got the nickname in elementary school. She goes by that name. She prefers it to her given name, Chastity.
Because she was very quiet. She was not chit-chatting.
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
I did not talk much.
Okay.
I like to listen.
8 to shoot for the Hawkeyes. 1:18 to go in the first half.
She's a relentless player, though.
I thought
she
you were
does it on
just
both
saying
ends.
Inbound to Houston, knocked away by Strong, out of bounds to Iowa with 6 to shoot. Sarah Strong has very active hands defensively.
Yeah, she does. We say this about the length of UConn, but that's a part of it as well.
Williams the defense, and Stolke was too much.
Excellent job getting inside position by Stolke. It's a good play running from the out of bounds.
Credit Iowa hanging around in this game. There are a couple times where it could have gotten away from them. It has not. Williams surveying. Wants the back cut for Fudd. That's knocked away. Battle for it, and we get a timeout. Iowa possession in time. Addie Deal down to the deck to cover it up and get a timeout for the Hawkeyes with under a minute to go in the second quarter. So Iowa within 9 and with the ball when we come back in just 30 seconds. Timeout in time to give Iowa the basketball. 49 seconds to go first half, and Chit Chat Wright steering the ball into the front court for Iowa. Screen from Houston. Arnold right there with Wright. Trying to hit the middle of the lane. AZ Fudd taps it away. On the hit ahead for Shade. No rebound for Deal. She's going to try and counter and then thinks better of it. Shot clock is off. AZ Fudd just heating up. Deal and nearly threw it away. It's over the sideline. Who's got it? The officials will talk it over. It's UConn basketball. It is a spicy UConn defense and has been all year long. They just speed you up and they sense blood in the water. AZ Fudd thought about squaring up. Instead, she'll find a mid-range jumper and cannon. UConn's lead at the half is 11. Sarah Strong played the entire half for UConn. 20 minutes, 20 points.
Highly efficient, and they're also turning this Iowa team over. Is going to be a big thing to watch here in the second half.
15 Iowa turnovers in the first half. UConn's lead is 11, 42-31. We'll come back and then head to the studio, all here at halftime from Brooklyn. Points at turnovers mount this year.
And that's the balance of it. So how, again, can you try to just understand the better feel, the better rhythm and the timing, having played here this first half against this personnel?
Strong catch and drive around the arc, quick passing, and a three for Arnold.
So Iowa comes out in a zone, see if they could shake things up and make it more difficult for UConn, and they do such a nice job, the Huskies do, in moving, shifting the basketball, getting it to both sides for a clean three-point look.
Chit Chat Wright can break some ankles. The miss on the other end for three for McCabe. And knocked out of bounds by McCabe. But I'll tell you, Chit Chat Wright has drawn some eyes here in this game.
As she should. Let's first take a look. Beautiful ball movement around the perimeter. Leads to a three, but oh, Chit Chat. I mean, that is a split there, and she's got the quickness in her handles and how she's able to explode.
Quick release by AZ Fudd, no good. Rebound for Wright. Fearbach to the post, and that window closed very quickly with Sarah Williams.
That's an example. In the first half, we went inside the huddle with Jan Jensen, and she was talking about the crispness that needs to be made with the passes. That was an example. Yeah, you're getting in the post. There has got to be more zip on the ball because you know that there's always going to be another player coming for UConn.
Gummed up the possession, so now they have to go underneath out of bounds. And that wraparound is taken away by Shade. AZ Fudd got a better one for Strong, even better one for Shade.
That's it. Making the extra pass. Everyone fills their spots on the break, understanding exactly where to be, those secondary looks.
And now, I mean, it's, you know, it's 5 Stretch Armstrongs out there.
I mean, we're not even a minute and a half into this quarter, and already the lead, you see this passing, the movement, everyone's jumbled, everyone's scrambling, try to find a man. You're off kilt. This is now an 11-point lead turned into a 17-point lead in the span of, I can't do math that well, but a minute 23.
You nailed it. It's the largest lead of the game for UConn. Chit-chat right, tried to wrap it around, tucked it into the post, and an extra fine down low. Big to big, Stolke to Heiden.
But for the Hawkeyes, some beautiful passing. They have great movement, and we said this early in the game, too. UConn jumped out to a really big lead. Iowa will and do continue to fight.
Easy Fudd wanted that spot, missed it left, rebound Stolke. And Iowa has done a nice job keeping UConn to one and done. Offensive glass has been hard to come by, and that's just dropped out of bounds by McCabe. 3 offensive rebounds all day for Connecticut.
We're talking a lot about UConn passing. Look at this Iowa passing. Good job getting underneath, and there's the extra play by Stolke. That's a nice cut up the gut there from Heiden. And that's the type of interior passing that you want to see, especially with their size.
Sarah Strong tees it up and knocks it down. 23 for Sarah Strong.
And that's where with Iowa and what they're doing defensively, McCabe on the perimeter with Sarah Strong, the height difference, she could just shoot right over her, and that's a situation where she did, especially the depth that Strong has from 3.
Fearless chit-chat right, drops it off. Heiden across the lane, touched by UConn. 11 to shoot for Iowa. Hawkeyes will head into Big Ten play in earnest. Their next game, UConn, which has already piled up a couple Big East games. Now we get a 5-second call, timeout call. Timeout called by UConn. So 7:20 to go, third quarter. UConn calls timeout, trying to fend off Iowa. But I'm going to appeal that ruling, just as UConn did. They got a tipped ball. It is UConn basketball. It was a successful appeal. They'll keep their timeout that they called to stop the game, to set up that challenge as they'll go down the lane line for Williams on the reverse pivot for 2.
What a tough spin. We talk about post players or anyone inside holding their ground, staying in front. Heiden tried to do that. Williams was so quick in her reverse.
They are in the face of chit-chat right, trying to deny her a post entry. Strong on the overplay. Stolke got it away for Heiden, who spun it in.
So much pressure on the perimeter. They break through that first line. That's excellent passing there in the 2-on-1 right by the lane.
And it's a foul against UConn. Williams down to the deck. And that's her second personal.
And I was doing a good job initially. Stolke, as there was the overplay, just the penetration, the drive, and that's a part of it. We're talking a lot about the turnover, steals, UConn getting in passing lanes. If you're able to execute on some of those passes and force some of those overplays, you can find areas that put you at an advantage.
As UConn has been in for the balance of the day, the Huskies have led wire to wire in this game as Heiden extracts herself from the pressure. 7 to shoot. Heiden got low again, couldn't finish. Stolke another try, and that's tipped back out for KK Arnold and Connecticut. In a hurry, Arnold down the lane. Williams thought about heaving it across the way, and Gino Auriemma talked about this in Shooter on yesterday. He said, we just have to score more in the lane to keep up that efficiency. Like AZ Fudd flashing down low, and she'll get it away for a Williams jumper that's no good. Hiding the rebound for Iowa. Hawkeyes are 5 for 12 from 3 as Heiden looked for the back cut. Wasn't there to Stremlo. Turnover for Iowa. That's number 19.
So to your point, though, both teams in terms of efficiency shooting the 3-ball well. 42% for the Hawkeyes. UConn on the other side, right at the same kind of volume as well. 6 of 15 for 40%, but it's those 26 points in the paint for UConn, and a big part of those is how they've generated that offense out of their defense.
You've known Gino Auriemma for a long time. If he says we got to be better at something, pretty soon on the floor it's going to show up as they get into the lane there. Strong for Fudd. No good on the 3-ball. Nobody picked it up for Iowa. Fudd again. This one's catch.
Yeah, odds are she is not going to miss 2 in a row on the same possession, especially with some clean looks. Already said coming into this one that AZ Fudd shooting 53% from 3.
The most outstanding player of the Final Four last year in the UConn title run. Back from injury the 3rd week in November last year. And around Quinones, Stolke for 2. Shade gave it up. Fudd missed it short. Shade the rebound. A rare offensive rebound for UConn. Strong missed it. Fudd mid-lane wide open.
And UConn hasn't necessarily crashed a ton on the offensive glass. A lot of it's getting back. That's a situation. You got a defense in a scramble, and they're just not finding bodies. Clean look for Fudd.
They've already doubled their offensive rebounding total from the first half in the first 6 minutes or so of this quarter as that 3 goes down for Iowa and Stremlo.
Stremlo has shot the 3 really well here today. They've needed her 3 of 5. The scary part about that offensive putback by AZ Fudd is that she's, for herself, has struggled some from the field, not been as efficient as she normally is. The last thing you want to do is give her a clean look underneath the basket. She knocked down the 3-point shot here on this possession and then comes back through with a putback.
Oh, but it's star after star after star now.
It's incredible to watch the level of skill of these players, and you're seeing it time and time again.
Shade came flying in to try and clear the rebound, could not off the strong miss.
We had a tremendous game earlier this morning from here, Tennessee and Louisville, but yeah, it is plentiful, it is fun. And especially with these 2 teams, what they put together so far. But UConn, they're a different beast here right now.
I mean, Iowa's been to 19 of the last 25 NCAA tournaments. It's a program that's there every year. AZ Fudd pries it away and then pushed it off the leg of Deal. It is UConn basketball.
Which I think is the fun part of this Women's Champions Classic, that at this time of year, these iconic, legendary programs that we've seen throughout the course of many decades coming together, having an opportunity to play one another and be here at this stage, at this time. This place is full. It's been a tremendous environment, and that is what you love to see and continues that type of growth.
Fans were lined up for hours to get in here to the Barclays Center. That's a turnover created by some Iowa pressure in the corner.
And they could do that. And Iowa's a team, that's where some of the balance comes back to knowing your identity, getting to your identity, how you're able to still continue to try and do the things that allow you to get some more extra possessions to cut into this deficit.
Think about the young players they have on the floor. They have Houston and Hayes, who are freshmen. Chit-Chat Wright, the sophomore, at the steering wheel of this thing, guarded tightly by Arnold. Fudd out there with another sophomore, Stremlo. Here's Hayes going to work off the spin and would not fall, and the rebound for Quinones. Up ahead, Fudd, another quick release. That's over the top. A little game of Plinko for you for your Saturday afternoon.
In another part of UConn, I mean, this is one of the rare, to this point, off games for AZ Fudd, shooting 5 of 16 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3, yet you're still sitting here with an 18-point lead.
So many weapons as that's out of bounds. It's off of Hayes. And UConn basketball, it's turnover number 21 for Iowa. That's a big reason. You don't have to shoot an outstanding percentage, and for one of the rare times this year, they're under 50% today. But 32 points off turnovers out of 58 is gargantuan.
And UConn doesn't turn the ball over a ton. As you see Iowa dropping back again into the zone. So it's hard to play catch up then once they have this type of lead.
Yeah, can you get enough stops? And there's one of them. Chit-Chat Wright, Heckel tailing her right. Had to scoop it away for Deal. Nice defense by Heckel. They slide it down low inside, and 2 for Stolke.
Once again, some great passing, and Stolke does such a nice job on her slips, finding those areas off the cuts up the gut.
Very aware around the basket.
Yeah, and that's great passing overall by this Iowa team.
Heckel denied down there. Stolke in. Right on the lob, has to run it down and slam it down to the deck to secure it at the end line. Chit-Chat Wright has some bounce in her step. Just a sophomore, transfer from Georgia Tech. Stolke denied at the rim by Strong, and nicely done by Shade to throw it off of Stolke with 1:12 in the third. Sarah Strong went to the half with 20 points. She's got just 3 in the third quarter, but UConn has grown the lead by 5. UConn trying to get to 12-0 before heading to Indy and Providence at Butler at Providence before the first of the year in Big East play. The officials are going to talk over a clock issue maybe. Yeah, 27. So UConn will have to race it across midcourt with no resistance from Iowa here. Here is Heckel, the Long Island native for AZ Fudd. Right into a quick set. Connecticut. Fudd wide open at the wing. That's good.
That's some great ball movement. And again, it doesn't matter what she shot in the game. That's the last person you want to open look for.
Quinones just purloins it and scores. Just took it right out of her hands.
Her quickness, athleticism, how strong she is. You see it, and we've seen it throughout the course of this year in flashes. But to think about the fact that she's only a freshman.
She's a nightmare to deal with defensively, and we got a foul. Iowa's going to the free throw line for a rare foul shot, just 4 for 6 in the game.
A beautiful ball movement, getting to the second side, extra pass, and then a 53% three-point shooter wide open. And then there's Blanca Quinones with the rip. We said this earlier. She's out of Ecuador. She played for the Ecuador senior national team as a 15-year-old. She played in Italy's top pro league since 2020. So that would mean she was 14 years old, already playing pro. And she's already been the 2-time Big East Freshman of the Week. But you see in her the amount of potential and upside that she brings to the table.
Just such a stopper already. And she was asked about it. She said, you know, college was never really on my radar in the United States until the last couple of years in Italy. And then she realized what UConn could do for her to develop her skills. AZ Fudd, what a cut by Heckel. 5 seconds to go, third quarter. Chit-Chat Wright trying to find an opening. She does, misses, and that'll do it. Wipe off the third quarter. And UConn grows an 11-point lead at halftime into 21 at the end of 30 minutes. You said they were a truck off the top of the show.
I need to pull out my thesaurus. I need some new words. They are cooking.
The kids would say they're a wagon. All sorts of different transportation.
They share the basketball, leading the country in assists per game. They are just smothering on the defensive side.
Iowa going deeper onto the bench. Callie Levine is checked into the game. That's sprung away from Stolke, who turns and bounces across the lane for Houston. And Journey Houston from Davenport North High School in Iowa has her first 2.
So again, a lot of the second half, Iowa has come into a zone off of makes.
Strong finds herself open. Why not? She misses against that zone, and we get a foul against Stolke for Iowa. You almost have to change it up against UConn.
You
just a different look, right?
And honestly, a circumstance, I mean, Sarah Strong, excellent 3-point. Sometimes you just got to hope that you're missing shots, but trying to bottle things up and, again, just do anything you can to keep an offense off balance.
AZ Fudd around the Strong screen, and we're going to get a foul against Stolke. That's her second in a row. Just battling toe-to-toe with Williams.
Yeah, and she's done a really nice job with it. Overall, we've seen it out of Stolke. Also, you know, Ava Hayden has done a really nice job. When Layla Hayes has come in, she has, but still the points in the paint and the ability to score inside there is a big part of what UConn can come at you with.
Sarah Strong has played basically the entire game. Fudd the miss and the rebound for Houston. Push it ahead. Here is Levine taken away from her by Fudd. Got Arnold in the lane. Oh, what a surgical pass. Arnold out to Quinones for three. That's a freshman with a ton of upside. It's her 13th three of the year. Stokey couldn't draw the whistle. Williams ends up on the ground. Stokey over top of her for two.
And again, Iowa has continued to battle. They're still fighting. They're trying to scrap here. It's just, for UConn, this is a big part of what they do. You look at their 11 wins, 9 of them have been by at least 28 points.
Yeah, there's a win by double figures against Louisville, 11. They beat Michigan by 3, and then everything else, as you said, is blowout theater.
I like this absolutely ridiculous pass by AZ Fudd on the break, just smooth, gets it on the run. Everyone's getting back in transition. What does that do? It allows a clean look for Blanca Quinones. She hasn't taken a ton of three-point shots, but when she does, she's been highly efficient, nearly 60% connecting on those.
AZ Fudd thought about the trigger. Instead, she'll give it for Arnold. Extra pass, finds Strong. That's no good, and Stokey the rebound. UConn gives up really good looks for better looks. They have so far today. Hyden turning and firing, left it wanting a little bit. And the rebound for Arnold. And Quinones on her left. AZ Fudd is the choice for two.
They're clinical in transition and on their breaks. I'm talking to Gino. He talked about still the work in progress of the half-court offense, which I don't know if most would agree with that. It looks pretty good, but when they're in transition, it's just, what do you do? Because every different point is an option.
I mean, he said yesterday, look, I know all of our awards, Gino Oriema. He said, but everybody else has them too, and I have to remind myself of that, considering the start they've had. Hyden walled off, tough pass, Addie Dio in traffic, taken away, Strong, changing hands and drawing a foul that in other games in this building would have been a clear path foul.
And I think the impressive thing, and we'll continue to watch this fourth quarter, we mentioned that earlier Michigan game, that the closest that they've had, November 21st, it was a three-point win. They were really tested, especially in the third quarter, and then found a way to open that up. But I was just at USC when they had played the Trojans last week. A lot of their top matchups, even like this, they don't take their foot off the gas. And sometimes when you get big leads, that's why you look at their margin of the scoring margin. In their victories, it kind of lacks a little.
AZ Fudd squares up in a heartbeat and sinks a three.
She's got the quickest looking shot. Shoulder square. The release is a thing of beauty. But that's where, to me, they stay just as intense from start to finish.
Hyden denied, pancaked away by Williams. And taken by Strong. I said the Louisville game was 11. It was 13, but to the point, it's been one close game, one kind of close game, and then this the rest of the way. AZ Fudd, another bullseye, and UConn is sprinting away here in Brooklyn. You better close out fast.
AZ Fudd, close out fast. She didn't need a whole lot of room. Give her a second of airspace, and she can get that thing off. Banger, banger. Got him. She's starting to heat up, and so is UConn. The 6:15 right here.
All right, we've done two games.
I'm going to be really honest. I also got distracted because I was looking at, we were thinking about Sarah Strong, the performance she's had. Her mom, Allison Feaster, here, able to make it in the crowd. And so I was waving at people.
Well, and by the way, as you were doing that, Sarah Strong just subbed out for the first time today. She's played every minute until now with a big lead. And here is Wright turning against Arnold for another three. Chit-Chat Wright's third three of the game.
And again, the score and the discrepancy of it is rather large right now. Chit-Chat Wright there's been a lot of impressive players for Iowa, but what she's put together, what she's done at the early part of the season as a sophomore, she's someone to absolutely keep your eye on.
This is out of bounds, I think. It was off of Williams, who was standing out of bounds. So if she deflected the ball, it's out of bounds to Iowa. But yeah, Sarah Strong, what can't she do at this point?
I think, to me, too, and we've discussed this quite a bit, yes, what she can do offensively, defensively, skill set, you name it. The disposition to go along with how she's able to read and see a defense, how she's able to read and see an opponent's offense. That maturity, that level of sophistication and her understanding, and she just, her composure that she brings to the table is something that you absolutely need to achieve to the heights that we've already seen from her at this point, and how much more she had. And you'd mentioned about just the thoughts of Gino on her. It's been so impressive and fun to watch her early on in her career.
Williams going to work off the 10-second violation. Rebound for Zabel. It's down on the ground and picked up by Deal. Stremlo and Iowa, who will play Penn State just before the first of the year, into Big Ten play in earnest soon, to yet again another sold-out Carver Hawkeye Arena. They have drawn so well. Zabel on a steal, away from Deal to the rim, and Deal got a hand in there to muddy the drive. But a season-high 25 turnovers for Iowa, too much to overcome.
And that's something that you know going into a matchup against UConn, that number has got to be limited. And even out of the outset, the way the Huskies started this game, and I'll say it over and over again, give credit to the Hawkeyes for how they battled, and they didn't allow this to open up at certain points where you thought the game could get away, but that is such a big part if you're giving this team extra possessions.
AZ Fudd so quickly squares up with the basket and knocks down another jumper. All of her threes have been in this half. That long distance two gives UConn 78 points for the day. Oh, that's denied by Williams. Return to sender against Layla Hayes.
And how tough was that, too? Just her ability to do so and stay vertical, get it cleanly. And she's got a lot of length and a lot of height there. 6'4" senior. Spent the first 3 years at Wisconsin.
I get a whistle on the inbound.
Block.
Yeah, it really was. You played volleyball in your heyday, did you
I
not?
have a high school state championship in volleyball.
Oh. Well then. Local state title winner remains humble.
That's the only thing I'll brag on.
I love that. What year was it? Sandberg, right? Sandberg,
yeah, Carl Sandberg. I don't remember the exact year, but it was my junior year of high school.
Deal for two. It's amazing. Congratulations. And happy birthday the other day, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Congratulations, we made it. Another year.
78-53 Connecticut. Fudd again. Oh man, what marksmanship.
The quickness, how she moves so well to get open. I mean, obviously there's some actions and screens that set her up, but.
And another takeaway, leading to a run out and a layup for Quinones and UConn. That's layup number 15 for the Huskies today. 15.
I mean, there's a lot of numbers that are of high volume and very big in what they've been able to do, and in particular to how they have the second half.
Stolke driving on El Alfie for two. Moving down to 3 minutes left. Again, this is a good Iowa team that UConn has laid into here in the second half, and a timeout to substitute for Gino Auriemma.
And you can't allow it to be mentally deflating in the context of what your season is. Looking at what UConn is, how well they play, the strength of this group top to bottom, but in particular their stars.
Yeah, AZ Fudd coming out, the substitution pattern here. So UConn will go to Ayanna Patterson. Khalees Fisher is into the ball game as well for some minutes. Here is Fisher. Kaylee Heckel, the local product, wearing number 9 out of Long Island Lutheran. Zabel on the drive, and she'll flick it up for 2. Iowa will go deeper into the bench as well. Stolke banks it in. Hawkeyes' only loss this year coming in was to Iowa State. Game they got out-rebounded in, but lost by 5 only for their lone loss. It's the first time they've seen a big deficit like this at the end of the line. Fisher mid-lane, gave it up, got it back. Against Wright off the spin, Khalees Fisher for 2.
And we've talked a lot about depth and depth of this UConn team. There are players coming off the bench that former All-Americans, decorated themselves throughout the course of their careers. And that's where a big part of it, too, is just the way in which you're pushing each other. You can say this about the Iowa program, all these 4 programs that we've seen pushing each other in practice, how everyone gets better. The opportunity then for so many players as they progress and get older now are able to take on larger roles.
Tegan Mullaney has checked in for Iowa, the sophomore just back for her first 20 minutes of the year recently. Chit-Chat Wright had the concussion issue that she seems fully back from now. You know, she had to come out of that Lindenwood game, and she knocks down the 2. She's been a force at points this afternoon, Chit-Chat Wright. The UConn cheerleading section is still feeling it, and everybody shooting the ball is 2. Zabel and UConn at 90. Chit-Chat Wright says, take that.
Showcasing those skills. Again, the deficit aside, there are things that she does that are really eye-popping as only a sophomore, in particular efficiency from 3.
Heckel wanted 2. She also couldn't pluck the rebound. Here's Wright again, just heave it one more time. She thought she had it. A little bit long, rebound, and we get a foul against Connecticut with 37.6 to go. UConn's going to stay unbeaten here. They're 11-0. Gino Auriemma over 1,260 wins. This will be 1,262. His record in the NCAA tournament is 142-24, which is ludicrous. There's a foul on El Alfie down low. This could be their 7th unbeaten here, Connecticut, for the season. Obviously, cart before the horse there, but they look the part.
They do. I mean, it's, again, we've talked about it quite a bit through the course of this game, but you can see it how they play, and it's the consistency of which they have done it game after game.
Michigan gave them the toughest effort so far, just a 3-point game in that win. This will be a double-figure victory for Connecticut in a big way against a proud Iowa program and a strong Iowa team out of the Big Ten. But AZ Fudd and Sarah Strong combined for 50 of the 90 today from Barclays Center. 27 for Fudd, 23 for Strong. And a season high in points allowed by the Hawkeyes at 90. UConn will run it all the way down. And that is that. End of the ball game. 28 straight in the win column for UConn.